Hello everyone, it's Siobhan here, the Galloping Housewife. On my not quite daily yard commute, heading off for a wee jog and then out to the horses. I haven't really spoken about, I kind of have about the fact that I quite often do a walk or a jog before I go out to the horses. And actually we've probably got reasonable stuff to do that exercise from at home. It's just at home's really exposed, and I like to go down. There's a formed path in commute that's relatively flat because I am horrendously unfit at the moment. I spoke to you about the fact that last year I was my health sort of just health and self-care, like it wasn't just fitness, but the whole lot. I wasn't eating well, I wasn't sleeping well, I wasn't allowing myself any time to really chill out. My stress levels were quite high. Some of that was external, but then that sort of triggers. I have an anxiety diagnosis, or PTSD diagnosis, and end up with anxiety as a result of that. And so obviously with all that going on, my actual fitness was well down the tubes. And I had a few sort of health issues that were causing some strain. So this year that it's just as I've come into this year, it wasn't like a New Year's thing. It was just like as I've come into 2022, it sort of coincided with a few of those things being sorted out, and me being a little bit more conscious of, or being able to pay attention to what I eat. Got my sleep. My sleep's really good at the moment, actually. Consciously trying to take care of myself with self-care, and reducing sort of workload, and that's actually what I was going to talk to you about today. But also getting my fitness going. So and I don't do much. I really don't do much. If any of you are watching this and going, that's a skinny bitch coach, she has to do, does a lot of exercise, that's why she's so skinny. I mean, I don't. I talk about it because I think that it's important to share. Just going past what would be a puddle in a paddock, but the whole thing's frozen solid. That might be some indication of what it's like here in Scotland at the moment. Riding is, and just my day-to-day life, I'm fairly active anyway. Not that I've been doing much riding lately, but I do like to, I've said before that I really value weights, and particularly when we're older and we've got joints and ligaments that, anyone who's over 40 listening to this will know that we creak as we get out of bed, that things start to hurt. We take a lot of ibuprofen. And so I am very conscious about one of my methods of keeping all of that under control is actually doing weights, and that weights, it's actually more resistance training, but I do use some handheld weights, but resistance training, building strength, and doing controlled exercise of those, controlled movements of those joints while they're under a little bit of tension. It's the best thing for reducing pain, for taking care, for rehabbing injuries. If your knees hurt, then the best thing you can be doing is squats and lunges, and they're fucking awful, don't get me wrong. They're really, really bad when you first get going with them, and take it easy, don't go deep, all those sorts of things, but they'll hurt a little bit to start with, but if your knees hurt, that's what you need to be strengthening. And likewise, just any other joint. My shoulders are bad because I've fractured one of my shoulder blades. so I consciously keep my upper body, I mean, as horse riders our upper body strength is quite good anyway, but I consciously do a bit of extra work with that. So that's what I do. And then also because I like to not feel like I'm dying at the end of cross country, and I do find that a lot of work, I like to do some cardio as well. And it doesn't matter, ideally I'd actually like to swim, because I really that's really good for my spine as well, and a bit of spinal flexibility, but I don't have access to a pool or easy access to a pool. So I also enjoy running. I know I'm one of those weird ones, but it's actually, give it a try. It's one of those things that's weirdly addictive. So I'm actually doing the couch to 5k at the moment. Like, I'm not doing a lot, like I said, really not doing a lot, but it's just to get out there and to get some endurance back before the season starts, which is not that far away. But anyway, so back to the thing that I wanted to talk to you about today was actually about work and about job satisfaction. And I actually posted a post this morning that's getting a lot of feedback about quitting or giving up something, and the fact that, well, actually that's okay. It's finishing or ending something is not the same as quitting or giving up. It is about it can be about taking care of yourself. It can be about ending a situation that you are not supposed to be in. It can be stopping riding a horse that scares you. There's a number of things that you can just say, no, that's enough. And the problem with us is that we're always taught never give up, never, keep going, you'll work it out, and actually, or you'll eventually make money or whatever it is, and actually that's not always the case. And one of the things about being an adult, one of the things about being a galloping housewife and taking care of yourself and taking care of all those around you as well, is knowing actually when it's time to stop. And we have this sunk cost fallacy, which means that if we've thrown a lot of effort, we've thrown a lot of time, especially if we've thrown a lot of money at a particular end point, that we feel bad if we stop it, and we feel that we need to continue it until it comes good, or until we get to the end point. And that's a really easy way of destroying yourself. But one of the things I talked in there about is resigning the job that you resent, or stopping the business that's not making you money. It's a little bit more than that. I really wanted to expand on that when you are looking at your occupation, when you are looking at your career, and it's so much it's such a big part of our lives. We spend a lot of time doing this, and we have a lot of identity tied up in how we earn our living, and so if that is not serving you, you need to be finishing it. But it's not, when you're looking at that calculation, and I feel a little bad because I talked about the job that you resent, but I tied the business to not making the money, and there's so much more to it than that. There's so much more to that equation than that. And actually, one of the women that's gone through the Sort Your Shit Out course, one of her big things was that she was in a job that she didn't like, and she quit it. But it's about when she was looking for the next role, or the next roles were coming to her, it was about choosing one that, yes, the financial thing was one part of the equation, but there was many other reasons that she resented that first job. And so you need to be looking at the other ways that serves you. And I have talked on this about it's a good thing if you find whatever it is, your career, your business, your job, easy and fun. It's not, you don't have to be on the grindstone to on the treadmill to earn your money. You don't need to feel like that. It should be something that's easy and fun, but there's so it's like, when you're looking for your occupation, look for something that gives you the time that you need, that you can that you feel a sense of purpose, that you feel some job satisfaction about. And there's a story about I'm going to misquote this really badly, but it's one of the it's kind of a business parable, where this guy who was building was a stonemason, and he spent all day every day shaping stones to the exact same proportions, and that's all he did, was just creating these uniform stones. And it's really hard, it was really backbreaking work. And someone said to him, why are you doing this? You've got other skills. You could be building something beautiful. You could be, he was a very good carver, yada, yada, yada. And he said, well, I am part of this process that's building this church, and it's going to be magnificent, and it's going to last generations. And that's gave him the job satisfaction. He was part of the whole. He was creating this thing that was going to leave a legacy, and that he felt very proud that he was going to be part of this whole journey. So it doesn't matter whether your role is what society sees as big or small, or insignificant or not worthy. It matters what that role means to you. It matters it matters whether you get the meaning out of it, and if being home with your kids is important, that you get those hours off, if you that you finish at 5 every day, or or that you can take time off to go to appointments and celebrations, and all those sorts of things. You will figure out. I mean, for me, when I was nursing, it was actually really valuable to be able to finish, to be able to start work at for a late shift. So I didn't need to be at work until 2:30 in the afternoon, work through to 11. It was 8-hour shifts. It don't exist very many places anymore, but especially not in acute care. But we had a 4:30 start and finished at 1 in the morning, which was even better. But that gave me my day to be at home and to to get my horses worked, and to do all those errands and things that I needed to do to keep everything running. And then it was just my husband would feed the horses and stuff in the evening, and sort them out in the evening. But it was that worked for me. That working part-time and working those sort of hours really did suit me. And so it's your needs will be individual, and obviously I was only on a nursing wage there. Well, it hasn't changed, so it's pretty appalling. It's even worse now, but in real terms, but it wasn't a great wage. And so but that was a role that I loved. I really did feel worthwhile going in and saving lives, and all those sorts of things. But in addition, there was this lifestyle that worked out for me that actually fitted with what I needed. So I just wanted to really encourage you to to realize that there's a lot more to the equation than just money, and you will know what's right for you. All right, that's enough for now. I'm here. I'm, like I said, going to go for a run, heading out to the stables. Weather's not too bad. It's cold, it's grey, it's damp, but it's not pissing with rain, and it's or snow or sleet, and it's not blowing too much. So fingers crossed I actually get them work today. All right, I'll see you later. Bye now.